the top 10 easiest to obtain mounts. Whether it be you're new to the game, or maybe just missed a few of the easier to get mounts if you took a break from the game at one point or another. Whatever the reason, here are some of the easiest to obtain mounts. Just a little heads up, I won't be talking about class mounts, or the default griffon / windriders. Everything else though is pretty much fair game. At number 10, we'll start off with probably the hardest mounts to obtain on the list. And those are the 6 mounts you get from your stables building in your garrison. Requirements to get these 6 mounts: a level 100 plus character, a level 1 stables in your garrison, and 12 days of dailies. These mounts are obtainable a lot easier if you have a max level character and have flying unlocked in Draenor. Now what you do is simply go to your stables and do the dailies they provide. The dailies will send you out around Draenor to lasso a beast and chase it around for about a minute or two. Some of the beasts are easier to follow than others, but every single one of them is a cakewalk to follow if you have flying unlocked. You just got to stay close to them. Once you have them lassoed, you'll get dailies for the next 10 days or so to go out and fight random mobs while riding your mount to train them for combat. Some of the mounts take more dailies than the others, but the starting lasso dailies are spaced apart, so that if you do all your dailies every day, you should unlock all 6 mounts roughly around the same time, within 1 to 2 days of each other. Towards the end of the training dailies, you'll be doing 6 dailies every day to train your mounts. But they all start taking place in the Grand towards the end, and most of them require you to kill the same mob over and over, so it makes the travel time between doing all the training a lot easier, since most of the time you can just camp one mob for 5 of the dailies, then just fly to the next one who should be close by. All in all, doing about 2 weeks of dailies, with the second half of them being all located in the same location, makes getting 6 mounts at once pretty simple. Number 9, the Hearthsteed mount. This mount is either very easy to obtain, or a pain in the ass depending on your skill in card games. To get this mount, you simply need to win 3 games in Hearthstone against random players, in nearly any of the PvP modes. The average Hearthstone game is pretty fast, so you can get all 3 wins done in about 25 minutes, or it could take you hours if you're just really bad. I went onto an alternate account and tried Hearthstone from scratch to see how long it would take me to get 3 wins with a brand new account. It took me about 25 minutes to play through the tutorial, and another 20 minutes to win 3 games against random players. Luckily, the very first deck they give you is not half bad, as long as you change out a few of the really terrible cards with some of the better neutral cards you also start off with. I went ahead and tried ranked mode first, since in my past experience when I used to play Hearthstone, you could get easier matches at low ranks than playing in casual mode. But I also tried out 2 games in casual mode just to check it out. In my ranked game, I went against another obviously new player with the basic set cards, and I beat him pretty easily. Then in my first casual game, I ran into another obviously new player, and won again very easily with my starter deck. This was a good sign. This means Hearthstone has improved their random matchmaking considerably since I last played, as I was obviously going against other brand new players. My third match, however, was against a player who had a few cards outside of the standard set, which made him a lot tougher than the first 2. I still managed to outplay him with my starter deck though, and my impression of the player was that he was also pretty new, and had simply obtained a few packs and added those cards to his deck. All this to say, if you've never played Hearthstone before, it is very possible to get your 3 wins for the Hearthsteed mount within a timely manner, since there is a very high chance you'll be matched against other new players as well, like I was. Number 8, the Flying Carpet mount. Out of all the mounts you can get from the many different professions, the basic Flying Carpet mount from tailoring is the easiest to make, as it has low tailoring requirements and the cheapest mats when compared to all other mounts that can be crafted. Plus, tailors have the potential to craft 3 other Flying Carpet mounts as well, 2 of which are also not very expensive to craft either. Number 7, non-rep neutral vendor mounts. Some of these, like the Traveler's Tundra Mammoth or the Reins of the Grand Expedition Yak, are very expensive, and others, like the Bloodfang Cocoon, are extremely expensive. But there are others that are not crazy overpriced and can be purchased for a reasonable amount of gold if you simply know where their vendors are at. You can buy 3 yak mounts by simply visiting Uncle Big Pocket in Kunlun Summit. May Francis, a vendor in both Dollars who stands near the entrance of the Flight Masters, who can sell you 3 other mounts in addition to the basic flying mounts your faction can learn. The trader in your garrison sells 2 mounts. Both are kinda on the high end at 10k and 20k gold respectively. And the spider mount can be bought from the Mad Merchant in the Wonderworks in New Dollaran for 2 million gold. But he spawns randomly, so he's not always there. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily consider the spider mount easy to get, seeing as it costs so much gold, but if you have the gold, you simply just have to buy it from the vendor when he spawns, and it's yours, which in of itself is not a very hard thing to do. Number 6, the Heirloom Mount. You get a separate mount for both Horde and Alliance. This mount is very unique and one of a kind. For one, this mount requires no skill in riding to use, meaning you can use it from level 1, making it great for leveling alts, since you normally don't get a mount until level 20. This mount also is the only mount in game with the built-in effect of not dismounting you when you get dazed from an attack from behind by a mob. But it only ever goes at 60% increased movement speed, regardless of your riding skill, which is fine for levels 1 through 39, but not so good once you train faster mount speed. Even then, it's still useful if you need to run through mobs without worrying about being dismounted. Now, how do you get the mount? Simply earn the achievement Heirloom Hoarder, which requires you to own 35 heirlooms. Heirlooms can be purchased in many different ways, but the easiest is just to buy them with gold from the vendors in Undercity for Horde and Ironforge for Alliance. Also, if you're a goblin or have Shatar rep, you can buy your Guildatide heirlooms from Riha in Shattrath City at a discount. Otherwise, you got to pay full price from all other guild vendors. For some reason, only this one vendor in Shattrath City allows you to have a discount on your guild items, which includes the heirloom items. Number 5, location restricted mounts. As far as I know, there are only 5 of these kinds of mounts which can be obtained, and pretty easily. As long as you just quest through Vashj'ir, you'll get your very own zone restricted seahorse mount that you'll never use again because there's literally no reason to go back to that zone. You also get it pretty early on, so if you skip the zone while leveling, you can get it pretty quickly if you just go back and quest a little bit. Then there are the 4 resonating crystal bug mounts you can get from AQ40. The yellow, blue, and green ones drop pretty regularly from pretty much everything in there, so they're super easy to get. But the red one is a lot rarer, so it might take a little longer to get. These 4 mounts can only be used inside the raid though. So why bother getting these 5 zone restricted mounts if they're not even useful? Well, because they're easy to get, and count towards getting the next mount on the list. Number 4, Reins of the Albino Drake. This mount is obtained by simply having 50 mounts usable on any one character. If you buy every single racial mount, the 12 panda turtle mounts, and all the default mounts, you'll only need to get 3 more mounts to unlock this achievement. A quick way to get 12 panda mounts without actually having to play a panda is to simply make a class trial mage Pandaren. You can then just teleport straight to your major city, and have an alt mail you about 56 gold, since you start off with 10 gold for some reason, and that should be enough to buy all 12 turtle mounts. You can also do this method for all the other racial mounts as well, but not every race has mage as an option to create. So for those, you simply use your Garrison Hearthstone they give you and then take the portal to Warspear, and then find the portal that will take you to whichever city you need to go to buy your racial mounts. Also, I think your class trial mage will only have 1 port when you first make them. So simply port to your major city and then log out and back in, and you should have all of your spells and other teleportations after doing that. Number 3, the Amani Battle Bear. This mount can be obtained rather easily with a level 90 plus tune. Simply head out to the Ghostlands and enter Zolomon on Heroic. Then talk to Vol'jin at the entrance. You don't need to accept any kind of quest or anything, and then ring the gong once when he prompts you to. Then simply run around and kill the first 4 bosses in under 25 minutes. The easiest route is to mount up and run to the left and kill the bird boss. Then mount up and go to the right side and fight the bear boss. This guy requires a small little event before he gets started, so make sure to kill trash while running up to him. Then once he's dead, just go down and around the bottom to the next boss and kill him. Then just jump down from the platform, run straight across to Halazi, who requires you to run around the back entrance. So just run along the little lake. You might have to dismount and fight along this path depending on your level, as the mobs here like to root and stun often. Once you kill Halazi, just look for the troll in a cage in his boss room and talk to her. She'll go around the room and break 3 vases. The third one will have a brown bag, which when you click on will have your mount. Maybe. The mount is not 100% drop chance, but it is like about 90%, so you might not get it on your first try. It personally took me 2 tries to get it for this video. Number 2, Reins of the Twilight Drake / Black Drake. Both of these mounts can be obtained rather easily and quickly by simply killing the big dragon boss in the middle of the room in the Obsidian Sanctum. Simply go to New Dalaran, take the port to the middle of the city to the Wyrmrest Temple, then fly all the way to the bottom of the tower and go in. There are a few portals in there, so just go straight ahead for the Obsidian Sanctum. Literally, as soon as you fly in, just go straight and you'll find it. 10 man will give you the Black Drake, and 25 man will give you the Twilight Drake. Both are obtained the same way, just zerg the dragon in the middle of the room while the 3 mini-boss drakes are still alive. Since both 10 and 25 man share a lockout, you'll have to do it on an alt if you want both in the same week. Otherwise, just wait a week to do it again. And finally, number 1, the most easiest mount to obtain in the game, and that is the Bronze Drake. Well, it's probably not, strictly speaking, the easiest to obtain, but it is very common and very easy to get. To obtain this mount, head to Old Dalaran, take the portal to the Caverns of Time, make sure your dungeon difficulty is set on Heroic, and run through the Colon of Stratholme. There will be an extra boss right before the final boss of the instance, which you simply just have to keep running left past the gate, and you'll find him no problem. Then once you kill the extra boss, he'll drop your mount, since it has a 100% chance to drop. There's no way you won't get it. In order to solo this dungeon easily, you have to be around level 85 or higher. But other than that, it's a pretty easy dungeon to do that drops a dragon mount which you don't have to pay anything for. And that's it for the top 10 easiest mounts to obtain. Honestly, I think the hardest one to obtain on the list is the Hearthsteed, since it requires you to play another game to get. Any other super easy to get mounts I may have missed? Maybe a rep gated mount, but with a ridiculously easy to grind rep? Let me know, I'd love to hear about them for possible future videos.